Donald Trump had his photo op where he tear gassed a bunch of entirely peaceful protesters, including a priest, by the way, to clear an area out for him to awkwardly hold up a Bible and pretend that he had read it. So people have wondered, what do Republicans think about this choice and what it seems to indicate about his stance towards protests in the future? Well, MSNBC had a little mashup of asking all the Republican senators they could to comment on this, and I want you to take a look at these profiles in courage.
The president did last night the right thing to do. What the president did, the peaceful protesters that were dispersed with tear gas, he then walked across the street to the church. Was that the right thing to do?
Didn't really see it.
Was what the president did last night right? Was what the president did and what unfolded at the White House last night appropriate?
Here, if you want to reach out to our office, feel free to. Thank you.
Senator Roberts, was what the president did last night at St. John's, was that appropriate? Was clearing the protesters an abuse of power? I'm sorry?
I don't have a problem.
I wasn't there, so I didn't see exactly what happened. But I think that he was just trying to make a point. And it's hard in a polarized environment like this. So
You don't have any comment on what happened at the White House last night?
On the what?
The gassing of White House protesters, do they have a right?
You know, I didn't watch that closely enough to know what happened there.
Senator Enzi, are you concerned at all about what happened at the White House last night?
I did not think that what we saw last night was the American right.
Senator Portman, do you think what we saw last night at the White House, was it an abuse of power, what we saw last night outside the White House?
By the protesters, yes. By the violence, yes.
You know, I've heard conflicting things about, well, the president, the Park Service, the Secret Service didn't know that the president...
We're going to stop there because there are more. It's all of them, basically. I think Murkowski implied that what he did was wrong, and that was it. Ted Cruz said that the peaceful protesters were abusing their power. This guy who swears, he wants you to believe that he humps the Constitution every night. That's how much he loves it. He said that they were abusing their power, not the guy who gassed them. Because he has to worship the guy who gassed him, the guy who called his wife ugly and said that his father might have assassinated JFK. That's not the abuse of power. It was the people standing there playing guitar and singing in solidarity. Abuse of power from Ted Cruz, the biggest waxy worm in D.C.
Again, I'll say it like I've said before. Republicans' biggest problem with Donald Trump is that he's doing it too openly. They're all the same people. They enjoy what he's doing behind the scenes. But when they have to answer to it, they got lunch. I don't know. There was the guy threw up the shoulders like he's a walking emoji. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. Oh, man, my advisors aren't here to tell me how the best way to politically answer this question without answering it. Oh, man, I've only got 5 seconds to come up with something. I'm too dumb to come up with reality, and I'm definitely not going to tell you the truth. So it was a parade of weakness and capitulation and knee bending and ring kissing. It's all they are. So we need to see this every time. I say it all the time. Every time he does these things, ask every Republican senator and representative, and you see them a week later, ask them again, make them answer these questions. They don't want to answer those questions, and they threaten you with, I'm not going to give any more access if you make me answer a question about what's going on with the leader of my party and leader of the country that I continuously back up. This is a question you need to answer, because if you ask them these questions, these are the answers you'll get, and then people will look up and go, man. And you know what? These things will end up in campaign ads by opponents of these guys.
Yeah, in the wake of the gassing, here's what Ted Cruz had to say, that the protesters were the bad guys.
Never have they been happier with having to put a mask on to protect themselves from COVID-19. Because they're like, maybe people won't recognize it's me. Maybe I can tell them after this ad pops out, no, that wasn't really me. That wasn't Ted Cruz. That was just some other slimy person's snake eyes walking around.
Or just it muffles the sound. Like they could pull a George Costanza, like, I like flooding. I like flooding. That's what they're doing. And so they tear gassed. This is what you get from the Republicans. They're not going to do anything. I know I keep hearing that they're supposed to turn on him. They're not turning on him. And the right-wing media, their only reaction was, they're saying it was tear gas when it wasn't tear gas. It was a different gaseous irritant. And that's not even true. It was tear gas. They found tear gas canisters there. But that's, like, what do we expect in 8 months? It's 3 days after Joe Biden was supposed to be inaugurated. Trump is still holed up in the bunker in the White House. He dispatches jets that napalm protesters, and Fox News is going to be like, well, technically, they mostly use white phosphorus. It wasn't mostly napalm. Come on. Like, I know that sounds crazy now, but they are taking every step that Trump drags them, or maybe not even drag, they might be willingly, but either way, they're following him there. They're not providing a check on him. Pat Robertson said it was wrong. Other than that, that's it. Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, the only criticism they've had for Trump is that he is not brutalizing these protesters enough.
And when they've been forced to say something was wrong, they said, "Well, this is the line that the advisors tell them to say." Well, I wouldn't have said so, or I wouldn't have used that tone. I think we need to tone it down on all fronts. I think we need to. So that's their way of saying Trump was out of control, and what he's doing is un-American, and his tone is the problem, not his actions. Not the people who were actually assaulted and tear gassed. No, it's the tone. I wouldn't have come with that tone, but what the president was trying to do was this. How do you know that? I mean, did you talk to the president about it? You about to have lunch with him so he can tell you to shut the F up and stay away from me? Because that's what he's going to tell you in lunch. Back me up no matter what, like he told them before.
Yeah. Pathetic. Romney's like, he's the one who, like, theoretically, like, votes against him sometimes, but no, the gassing, look, apparently supports it. Doesn't think it's too far.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you what, whatever, I don't know if it was a Republican lunch that was all put together, if they all go into the cafeteria, but whatever was on the menu must have been damn good because everybody definitely wanted to get to lunch. Like, I got lunch. It's taco day.
Exactly. I'm not gonna miss. It was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday.
You could be onto something.
Smell
the breath.
Only thing left is LeBron James to walk through and go, Taco Tuesday. Did you see those?
Ridiculous.
LeBron James does Taco Tuesday on Instagram, and he screams Taco Tuesday in the most insane way. And that's all they were doing.
It's very humanizing. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.